Hello and welcome to the NHL Best Bets. Yesterday there were a handful of games. We had a picks for two of them, and here you see the results. Edmonton Montreal, first period, 4 goals. Not too much interest for the defending, and the goalies were not the sharpest either. So under was not so great pick, even though the overall game was 3-3 under after regular time, and then Edmonton took exactly similar victory as day earlier after overtime 4-3. So half a goal over, and our pick was red. But then in St. Louis, home team was playing very well, especially their goalie Ville Husso shut down Minnesota, even though Minnesota was overshooting St. Louis by few shots. 4-0 home team victory, and clear good green for us. Tommy, how do you saw these games, as there wasn't so much on stake at the end?
Yeah, it was a very difficult round to predict overall, so good to get some profit from there. Montreal-Edmonton game was pretty much as we expected, but they didn't do what we wanted. So the first period was horrible from both teams defensively. So easy goals, a lot of chances. This is not a playoff style hockey that these teams need to play in order to win their opponents come playoff time. So especially Montreal, I think they should have been a little bit tighter at their own end, and now they lost the game to Edmonton, who did what they had to get the victory. So that was important for the Oilers, but not very impressive effort in any way. So they're there if the under would have been playable again if these teams meet. But if Montreal wants to be able to challenge Toronto, they do have to be a lot better in the defense, as we keep repeating. And we've seen throughout the season, they are not a team that can outscore Edmonton's or the Torontos of this division. So a lot better defense needed from them. And then the Western battle between Minnesota and St. Louis went pretty much as we expected. St. Louis showed to Minnesota that even if they were one spot lower in the standings, they are a great team and they have won the Stanley Cup. They know what it is to play playoffs. Minnesota was maybe a little bit shaky and allowed a couple of chances for St. Louis to score the goals. They scored 4. Minnesota scored none. Maybe that's not exactly the right sort of result for this game. It was a little bit closer, but I think that it's a very good matchup, and we'll see if tonight the parts will change, as they sometimes do in these sort of tight playoff games.
Yeah, there wasn't so tight games when West Division top teams Colorado faced LA and Vegas played in San Jose. Both teams took a pretty convincing 6-0 victories, and at least Vegas was playing only half a throttle on. So do you think these two teams are unstoppable, or one of them, throughout the playoffs?
Yeah, one of them has to be stopped in order to reach the Stanley Cup. So I think these two teams might be the biggest candidates at the moment to win the Stanley Cup because the way they're playing. Now we saw this sort of a fine-tuning take place, and they were really good, both of these teams. Vegas could have probably scored a lot more if they wanted to. They were a little bit lenient towards their opponents. Colorado, a very offensively talented team, exploded and scored 6 goals in quite an easy manner as well. So these two teams are a joy to watch, and I do think that whoever gets them through the playoffs, we'll see. They do have to beat their divisional rivals, of course. First, they probably do have to beat one of each other, and then they go against the other divisions. But whoever gets them will be in a bad place, because these two teams are now playing the best that I've seen all this season.
And against all the principles in sports betting, we have now picked Colorado to win their last game against Kings. Maybe they have a bit more in the play than LA, that is maybe 7 degrees lesser team than Colorado. Colorado plays for nothing else but President's Trophy. If they won the game, they will take it after 20 years. So last time they won President's Trophy was 2000 and 2001. And they also won the Stanley Cup in the same season, so they are like we discussed many times, one of the top candidates to win it all, and they will do this one, and they at the same time will secure home arena advantage against any West Division teams in playoffs. And then other game, Minnesota St. Louis back-to-back. Like Tommy mentioned, there are some bounce back elements in the air, and Minnesota hopefully can play full speed. They were not so bad against St. Louis, but St. Louis played like they have been playing in many times. They squeezed tight games towards them, and good goaltending is the key in this matchup as well. So let's see who are playing. Will it be Mr. Binnington and Kaapo Kähkönen, who were resting yesterday?
Yeah, interesting. Now this is due to the respect to Colorado. We have the -400, so it's 80% in the simulations. Colorado wins even more. So this is a game that they do actually have something to play for President's Trophy. Also, in addition to having the home advantage throughout their division, they will have it for the entire league, of course, because they will be the most points winning team if they win this game. So there is a lot to play for. And like I said, last night they played so well that I don't think there is any chance that they're gonna lose this one. So a good game to finalize the regular season is expected, and I don't see any reason why that wouldn't happen. And the opponent doesn't really have anything to play for, so always plays into the hands of more motivated team. We're not gonna make these sort of picks many times, but this is the last round, so it's worth a bet. In simulations, more than 80%, like I said, about 82, 83% for Colorado. So some value there as well. And then the bounce back game in the West, like we were talking about, Minnesota, very closely matched with St. Louis. Not a lot of difference between the rosters. St. Louis won 4-0. Minnesota will be angered by that for sure, because it wasn't that clear a game. Minnesota fought well, could have scored a couple. It was Ville Husso who stopped them a couple of times. Now probably Kähkönen starting for Minnesota and Binnington for St. Louis. Maybe they are resting someone, but this is going to be a tough battle. Playoff preview again. Both teams are heading there, so it's going to be a very interesting physical game, probably quite low scoring as well. And Minnesota has the upper hand, and we have them favored for not gonna lie, I'm gonna check it if I can. How much did we have for Minnesota?
I think it was 51.5% for Minnesota.
Cool. So 51.5%. So a small value there, but still a value. And we've seen throughout this season that the back-to-backs tend to go 1-1 when the teams are very evenly matched.
Yeah, these last games of the regular season are very difficult to predict, as there's first of all not too much on play. Second, we don't know how much the top players are resting, and see the goalies can be like third or fourth string, like we saw last night in Montreal. They didn't have the top two goaltenders playing, but the third one. So hopefully these two teams pick at least numbers 1 or 2 goaltenders to play tonight.
I do believe they do, because they have a situation where they have 2 great goalkeepers and they want to have 2 capable of playing. So they don't do as Colorado did last season, though they ran out of goaltenders capable of playing.
Yeah, that's key, that there is depth in players, but even more there's depth in goaltending. Of course, Colorado has a little bit, let's say, shakier third string goaltender, Mr. Johansson from the Buffalo, but we hope that Grubauer is healthy throughout the playoffs, so there won't be any big disappointments on that sector.
Yeah, I'm sure they do just play it safe for now, because it's the last game. Even if they have the President's Trophy in line, still it's more important to get Grubauer 100% healthy for the playoffs.
And I think they have chances to score these 6-7 goals, so it doesn't matter if Kings can do then 3 or 4.
Maybe playing without the goaltender throughout the game, so 6-7 goals would be fine.
Yeah. As the final pairings of the Stanley Cup playoffs didn't finalize last night, we'll go through the whole playoff package tomorrow in our video, there's only one game, Winnipeg-Toronto, that has nothing to do with the playoff seeding. So tomorrow is the time to predict who is going to win Stanley Cup and also what kind of probabilities to win first round series in different divisions against different teams.
Yeah, I'm sure there will be a couple of surprises.
We'll see what kind of surprises there will be tonight and be back tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.